Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And in this case, we're talking about the power of equine therapy. We're here talking about Angel Heart Farm. We're joined by the founder and director, Tracy Kujawa, and also a special guest that we'll introduce a little bit later on, Lane Caldwell. But let's start out. How are you two doing?
We're good. We're real good. Thanks for having us.
Well, you all are doing tremendous good when you're talking about working with youth and families and horses. There's a lot to unpack here, but this starts, Tracy, with your personal story and literally the day you were born having a horse. And so give us a little bit of your personal background and what led you to launch the organization.
Sure. I had a very smart dad. The day I was born, he bought me a pony, and I was an early baby and I was like 3.5 pounds. And he went to the hospital and told my mom he bought me a pony. And she's like, our child's in ICU and you bought her a pony? He's like, yep. So, smart man I had. And I've been riding since I was like 2. Seriously riding since I was about 2 years old, and grew up on a big family farm in Michigan with cattle and horses and dogs and kitties. And I've always been a farm kid. And I graduated from Michigan State with a journalism degree, photojournalism degree, and went off into my career as a photographer and then a wardrobe stylist and set designer, and just worked in the music industry here in Nashville, and very, very blessed. And in 1998, which seems like a forever ago, I was diagnosed with my first cancer diagnosis. And during that time, I was teaching a writing program for physically and mentally challenged children. And I've always loved teaching. I'm an amateur owner, showman myself. I show my Arabians. And when I was diagnosed, the morning I was diagnosed, the doctor said, well, it is cancer. And I just literally walked out of his office, and I went to the barn and laid in my horse's stall and cried for about 3 hours. And that horse has got me through everything. And so I'm very grateful that she's mine, and I still have her, and she's 31 years old. So she doesn't have a choice. She's got to stay with me for a little while longer. But then in 2000, I had a relapse. And I had a dream. I was teaching bald-headed kids to ride horses. And I thought, wow, this is strange. So maybe I'll go volunteer at a program that works with kids with cancer. Well, come to find out there were none. And I thought, well, this is God's way of telling me this is your new calling. So I took it and ran with it. I went to Vanderbilt and St. Jude's Children's Hospitals, one's in Memphis, and then one's here in Nashville. And I said, is this a viable even idea? And they're like, when are you opening your doors? So I quit my company that I was successful at and started a nonprofit. I had literally no idea what I got myself into. I really didn't. I didn't realize how richly my life would be blessed. I called on all my friends. Do you have any horses I could have for my program? And they all were coming together and helped me out. And I leased a farm for the first few years. And then we ended up being able to get a farm, buying a farm. And we work now with St. Jude's, TriStar, Vanderbilt Hospital, UK Children's, University of Kentucky, Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And I knew when I started the program that I wanted a couple things. I wanted to incorporate the whole family. I didn't just want to work with a child that was sick. And I want to treat my kids like they're not sick, because they're going to power through it. They're going to get through treatment like this one did. And I also wanted it to be completely free. Cancer is very expensive. Like my last diagnosis, I'm a 4-time survivor now, and my medical bill was in like $1 million. And I knew how expensive it was. So I wanted to make sure our program was free. I wanted to work with the whole family, including the siblings, teaching them to ride as well if they wanted to. I knew that I wanted to do a mom's night out, a dad's night out. I wanted to incorporate music. I wanted to incorporate art. I wanted to incorporate a lot of different things that were healing properties for me when I was in treatment. And what we're finding is, it truly works. A lot of our kids are showing. In fact, Lane has got his first horse show in September, and we're gearing up for that. We believe that a kid needs to set a goal. I'm sure we're going to get through treatment, but we also have to set another goal for ourselves. So one of our goals is for Lane in particular is he wants to show the horse that he rides, and he'll tell you all about that one in a minute. But so that's kind of how the program started. And I've been 22 years now, so I can't imagine doing anything else. So,
well, when you look at this point, the legacy over 20 years, 2 decades, as you mentioned, 22 years strong. That's a lot of lives impacted. And I think, we can talk all day long about the program, and we'll definitely have you add to this, but let's go ahead and transition over and introduce Lane, because let's hear from him in terms of the impact. So let's have you, Tracy, introduce Lane, and then we'll switch over to Lane talking about the actual program.
Okay. Well, this is one of my favorite kids on the planet. He came to me about 4.5 months ago, and he'll tell you a little bit of his diagnosis. And I just adore him and his whole family. They live pretty close to us, actually, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away. So that's convenient. He rides almost every week with us. He's one of the coolest kids you'll ever meet. And he is a fighter, and I just love him. So this is Lane Caldwell.
Yeah. So Lane, go ahead and give us a little bit of your backstory.
Okay. So, I had medulloblastoma.
It's okay. Some people may not know what that is. So it's like a type of brain cancer, right?
Yeah. It was a brain tumor. And Angel Heart Farms, it really helped me get through it. And my horse Felix.
Give us some background on this horse Felix that you get to ride.
Oh yeah, so when I first came to the farm, I was supposed to have a whole nother horse, but Felix was the first one to come up to me, and it was great. I could just sense that he was the right horse for me, so I picked him, and we've been doing great.
Talk about what you've learned working with Tracy, working with the team, because these are legitimate, like, let's teach you all the skills, the fundamentals of horse riding. And so, I mean, this isn't just, kind of gloss over the top. This is diving in deep. So talk about your experience and what all you've learned.
The first time I rode, I knew nothing. Second time I started trotting, and now I can do obstacle courses, trot. It's
a lot of pressure horse.
Oh yeah, and I
tack up
every day. I brush my horse, help put his saddle on, clean his hooves, all that.
How has working with Felix, how has all of this helped you with your confidence and your ability to persevere, your resilience? How has this impacted you?
At first, I had radiation in the St. Jude, and it was horrible. And I thought chemo was going to be the same, and it was really bad. But then once I learned about Angel Heart Farms, it helped me through it a lot. And it really helped me get through cancer.
What would you want everyone to know when you look at the importance of Angel Heart Farm, what it means to you personally, for your family? What would you want everyone to know?
They don't charge anything. It's great because it was all for free for us. My whole family, my sister, my brother loves it. It's one of the best things about cancer treatment that I got to do.
Talk about what that means for you, Tracy, because as we mentioned, 22 years, but to be able to have this sort of impact on the youth, the families, what they're going through, and for them to, be able to then be equipped and empowered to be able to persevere and push through with success. What does that mean to you?
Well, hearing Lane say it, that means a lot to him, and it means a lot to me. I can't imagine doing anything different, what I do now. I love teaching, and he'll tell you I'm very strict. They don't get away with anything, do they?
No.
Yeah, no. I'm like hard. But it's kind of funny, about a couple months ago, one of our other young men were riding at a horse show, Atticus, and they've actually had the same diagnosis, and they're friends. And he went to his first horse show, and after he won his first class ever, first time ever in the ring, and he won it, he came out and he goes, "Thank you for being so tough on me. I understand why you were so tough." Because I'm like, I want them, like I said, to set a goal, to persevere. They can do anything. I mean, you have 2 hands, 2 feet, a brain. You can do anything you set your mind to. I tell them, it's like a Dr. Seuss saying, you've got 2 hands, you've got 2 feet, you have a brain, you need to use it. So, and they do. I'm super proud. The fact that we can do this, I can do my program, means a lot. I know what Lane went through. I know what chemo is like. I know what radiation is like. I know what it's like to be bald. I know what it's like, but he looks cute bald, so he's got it going on. I don't even want him to grow his hair back. But I love to see their connection with the horses. I will say with Lane, first time he came out, like you said, I had this idea that he was going to want to ride a different horse. And he came out in the pasture, and Felix beelined for him and just stood right in front of him, wouldn't move. He was like, "This is my kid." Mm-hmm. And I had a feeling it was a match made in heaven, and they kind of picked each other. And watching him the first time ever, he'd never ridden a horse before. And then his second lesson, he's trotting. That's huge. I mean, and his confidence, this kid just has all the confidence in the world. I don't think he needs much. He's got a lot, and he works hard. He never whines. He just works hard at his riding, and he works hard at life. I mean, super smart. I mean, he's just I just adore him, and I love his whole family, and I love seeing his little brother ride, and he's just starting to ride his little sister, and right now they're actually in the barn playing with the cat and dog and ponies. So, that's the thing about our farm. Our barn doors are always open. Our house is always open. There's no shut doors here. I mean, they have full reign of the farm. It's their farm as much as it is Angel Heart. So
talk about how it works in terms of community support, uplifting everything you're doing. You've got an upcoming event as well. So talk about how the community can support your efforts.
So we are a 501c3, and any donation, if it's a $1, buys a bag of carrots for our horses. So we're pretty grateful. We're right now in the middle of our capital campaign to purchase our farm. We have a $1.2 million capital that we're working on right now that we need to get done relatively quickly, so we can keep our program going. And we have a big event coming up called the Cowboy Ball, which is at September 8th. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Most people don't even know that. And we call it our month. It's our month to spread cancer awareness. It's our month to raise money, not only for Angel Heart, but for there's so many amazing children's charities out there that focus on cancer. But I will say we are the only one in the country, and I'm very proud of that focuses on the whole family and is free. And that part of the equation is super important. We can't survive. We can't run our program without funding. So we can't buy our farm without funding. So our Cowboy Ball is our biggest fundraiser this year. And actually in a week, we're having our polo match. That will probably be a good fundraiser as well. But our Cowboy Ball is at the factory in Franklin, which is a wonderful venue. We have the male vocalist of the year, Texas male vocalist of the year, Wade Bowen, playing. He's one of my favorite artists. And when I asked him to play, he's like, "Well, of course I'll play." So we're really lucky. And then one of our young girls, Ava Page, she's a Nashville singer-songwriter as well. And she finished her leukemia treatment last year. And she plays all over town. She's played with the Predators. She's sung the national anthem more times than I can count. And she's an amazing young woman. And her band will be playing too. So it's kind of a full circle moment for her. So we're really excited to have Ava play. It's dinner live auction, silent auction. Anybody that wants to donate auction items, we'll be more than happy to take them. And Lane is actually one of our princes for the ball. I couldn't decide. I know this sounds terrible, but we have 2 princesses and 2 princes. So we have Atticus and Caroline. Caroline is just finished her second battle with neuroblastoma, and she's doing amazing. So she's our princess. She's been riding with us for 5 years. Atticus has been riding with us for a year, and then Lane, and then our little junior princess is Kelly Lou, and she's been riding with me since she's 18 months old, and she had neuroblastoma as well, and she's in remission, and she is a pistol. So she will keep everybody entertained at the Cowboy Ball. If Wade Bowen doesn't, she will. So we're really excited about it. We have a dollar amount in the back of our heads that we'd like to raise, but any amount is great. So we're pretty excited about it. And then all year long, we're raising funds, and, it's definitely a tax write-off for whomever that wants to help us out. So we're really, at the end of the day, we are just grateful to do what we do.
Well, wrap up on your end with where we can get tickets, and obviously where we can go to get involved and learn more. So website, social media, where all do we go?
Our website is angelheartfarmnashville.com, and tickets can be bought at Eventbrite /events, I think. Angel Heart Farm Cowboy Ball, and then Instagram's Angel Heart Farm, Angel Heart Farms, and then Facebook is Angel Heart Farm Nashville. So send us a message, and if we can help anybody, any families, let us know. I mean, feel free to reach out. I'll tell everybody, we don't take any donations for horses. We have enough. We have 11. I don't want one more stall to clean. Our barn is full. So I know my kids always go, "Can we get another horse? Can we get more?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is what we got." We'll keep these. So yeah, that's us.
Well, you're doing tremendous good. Make sure everyone, once again, the website is angelheartfarm.com. So check them out, get involved, support the events. Definitely love and appreciate everything you and your amazing team are doing. So Tracy, Lane, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go ride.